Welcome to Mylk Sports, everybody. Here's my tier list, and before we get into it, I just would like to remind you guys that we just got the ability to have memberships here on YouTube. If you'd like to be a part of the membership, support me and the channel, join right there. You'll get to see, and you've already seen if you're a part of the memberships, my tier list, and now we're going to talk about it here today. A lot more information there. We talk fantasy advice, all kinds of different stuff too. I'll answer questions. But join the channel membership here on YouTube on Mylk Sports. We'll greatly appreciate that. It helps me out, and it helps me be able to get more stuff out to you guys. So thanks a lot. I hope everybody has a great day, and I hope you guys enjoy the video. All right, y'all. It is my Week 16 NFL Power Rankings. I'm going to be going through here tier by tier. I've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I got 9, 10-ish tiers, somewhere in that. So we'll be going tier by tier. I'll put on the right side the numbers, but I'm going to go tier by tier, just revealing them, bottom all the way to the top, so then I'll reveal all that information. So let's get it started here. Starting off first, we're going with the tier I call bad, and I don't know where it's going to go. Here we have, starting from the bottom of the bottom, I got the New York Giants, the Tennessee Titans, the Las Vegas Raiders, Cleveland Browns, New York Jets, and the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'll just briefly touch on each team just to explain this. I've got the Giants. They've been struggling. I mean, they've got people flying planes with these messages. I don't know how this is going to go. There's a lot of hatred there going on. The quarterback situation, getting rid of Daniel Jones. There's a lot of upset people in New York, Giants fans. I got a close Giants fan to me. He might end up on some parts of the show at some point. His name is Grizz, so shout out Grizz if you're there. And he's livid. He's upset about it, and they're all about that tank right now. The Titans, not looking like that Will Levis is the guy for them. He's kind of been a failure for them necessarily. Losing Derrick Henry has been tough for them. Tony Pollard has been kind of an interesting situation. You know, the parting ways with DeAndre Hopkins. A lot of rough situations. I don't know where the Titans go from here. Honestly, feel like they shouldn't have got rid of Mike Vrabel. Maybe it was a mutual decision, but I really don't think getting rid of Mike Vrabel was the move. But here we are. The Raiders, they actually coming off the game on Tuesday night. Monday night here on Tuesday. It was a very interesting game. They came up just short. But the question is what's the future hold for them? I don't know. I know Ritter's not the answer. They might be able to get Shadur Sanders, which I don't know if that's going to be the case depending on where they pick. I mean, they don't have the first pick, so they're kind of dependent on the Giants if they do that. But Shadur makes the most sense in regards to that. I know there's been rumors that that's where they want him to go, so we'll have to see that information, but Shadur may be there. The Browns, I don't know what's going to happen there. I feel like Jameis Winston should be the guy going forward. They still have Deshaun Watson. I don't like Deshaun Watson on so many levels. And the fact he's in the league, absolute atrocity if you ask me. But the fact that Jameis Winston right there too, it's just kind of, I don't know. It's such a wild situation there. What's the future there? Nick Chubb, Jerome Ford, they have some good pieces. Myles Garrett on defense. He got poked in the eye this past week. A lot of crazy stuff there. But yeah, the Jets, hangs in the balance. Are they going to keep going forward with Aaron Rodgers? Is Aaron Rodgers out of there? Are they going to end up trading Garrett Wilson? There's a lot of different trade rumors and stuff like that. Devontae Adams upset. That team is just a train wreck. And Robert Saleh, I don't think was a bad coach either. Him getting out of there, secretly hoping that he becomes the Panthers defensive coordinator next year. Just a lot of weird situations coming out of the Jets, so I don't know what the future holds for them. So I guess we'll have to see there. The Jacksonville Jaguars. Another situation. What's going on with the quarterback, Trevor Lawrence? He's the future with that. I don't know what's going to happen. That's kind of the tier that we have here. I have these kind of the way that I do is because I feel like the Jets had a close win the other day against I think it was the Titans. So they just had a really good game against them. The Jaguars, they've been interesting to see, and how they've been doing has been pretty good in certain circumstances, but I'm sorry. The Jets and in fact, you know what? I'll change that. I put the Jets above the Jaguars on regards to this list, so I will put the Jets above the Jaguars because the Jets just won, but wild situation overall there. It was a close game. It was back and forth, a battle of the bottom, as they would say, but yeah, I would actually put the Jets slightly above the Jaguars. So let's move on up a next tier here. We've got Bad, but a promising future. Now, I put the Bears there because I feel like they're kind of teetering at the bottom. A lot of people are out on Caleb Williams, and even though I'm somebody who has been spoken that I'm not the biggest fan of Caleb Williams, and I don't think that, I don't know, I think that he could be their future. They need to get an offensive line. They have a lot of great weapons around him. Keenan Allen, Roma Dunze, DJ Moore, Cole Kmet. Those are all very solid pieces that they have. I mean, I'm a Panthers fan. Bryce Young doesn't have anything near the kind of receivers that they have there. Those three would automatically be the top three, if not the top two, have at least two in front of all the Panthers wide receivers right now. Adam Thielen is the number one guy for Carolina right now, which is also in this list. Carolina, I think they're fine with Bryce Young in the future. He's had some setbacks. He's been able to come back, but I seriously feel like we're seeing the Bryce that we've always wanted to see, the Bama Bryce that a lot of people are exclaiming. Also for the Patriots, I think they're going to be okay. Drake May, the reason I like this tier list here in particular, bad but promising futures, and that's why I have them at where I have them, is they are kind of meh, but I think that they're going to be able to go forward here and actually improve with their quarterback situation. We'll have to see. Like, for instance, like I said, though, Bears got to get an offensive line. Panthers need to get more weapons for Bryce Young. The same thing with the Patriots. I think that they need to make sure that they get some more weapons. If they're able to get McMillan out of Arizona, that could be huge for them, even though I'm a little bit greedy, would like to see him in Carolina. There's a lot of difference there, depending on who's going to be picking first. But that's my tier list there. But promising there. And all these teams are on losing streaks too, so rough situation. All right, next list here is bad with a bad pick. These are teams that are not great this year. It could be due to injuries. It could be due to various things. And that's definitely the case with the Cowboys. And I feel like the Cowboys, the Saints, and the 49ers have all suffered with a lot of injuries. I feel like the Bengals necessarily, they are kind of just there. A lot of it is chemistry problems and just like internal things. Do they fire their coach? That's a question here. And what's upsetting there is a pick right there at the top 10 or just outside the top 10. It's not going to be like those elite players that can really help you out. Now, there is talent there, and there's some teams in front of them that have historically bad drafting in the first round. So, like, there's a chance. I mean, there's definitely a chance they get a quality player. But, of course, some of the elites, they're not there. That top 10 pick, very coveted, as y'all know, for draft capital at the very least. This is kind of how I feel like about the power rankings and stuff like that. Here, though, 49ers, a lot of problems, even though, and like I've said this many times before, Brock Purdy is extremely overrated. He's a good quarterback, but he's not in the elite category. He's not a top 10 quarterback. I've tried to say this for years. People have not agreed with me, but when you have a guy, and I'm not talking about this year in particular, Deebo Samuel is definitely taking a step down. Deebo Samuel of the past, Brandon Ayuk of the past, George Kittle, Christian McCaffrey, Kyle Juszczyk. These are guys that are arguably some of the top players in their respective positions, and you're not able to succeed without having every single one of them around there. Even if there's a couple that are struggling, Christian McCaffrey not being there, that run style that Shanahan runs fits any quarterback. It is a system. I'm not saying McCaffrey is a system running back because we've seen him in Carolina. He's able to do that. He's able to carry a team with the running. But him in that system is just absolutely ridiculous. That's why he does so well in that. But it's the system for Shanahan. We've seen it's a plug-and-play running back situation. Any kind of player can function in that running back role, and it goes anywhere. That's why Garindo's doing fine now. And not that long ago, Jordan Mason was able to do fine in that. We've seen all kinds of players that have functioned in that running back system for the 49ers, and it's good. I mean, it's a Shanahan mismatch where you go to the right, the cutbacks, all these different things. They have a beautiful way that they run down the field. That's why the 49ers have had success with that. But they're kind of limited at their quarterback play, and in my opinion. Even though he does hit moments, he has his moments, but I'm just saying he's not a top 10 quarterback. That's why I feel like these teams are kind of in a bad situation. It's kind of different there. The Saints fired their coach. The future for them is up in question there. What are they going to do for the quarterback? I don't know if if they're going to go with Derek Carr for the future. It doesn't make sense. They got Spencer Rattler there. Not great. The Bengals, a lot of question marks there. I mean, they've got one of the best quarterbacks in the league. They have one of the best passers in the league. They have a lot of good things going their way, but they're just not able to win. There's chemistry issues coming into the year. They had a lot of problems. They're kind of down here in this tier. I don't feel comfortable with them. They're still not officially eliminated from the playoffs. I mean, they're sitting 10th right now, but they are right there. I mean, they have to win out and get help if they want to get in. So there's not really a chance that they're going to make it. I expect them to be eliminated within the next couple of weeks. I mean, of course, we only have 3 left, but they are not there. I mean, they're 2 games back on the Chargers, who are in last place for the wild card position. So I mean, it'll take a lot for them to get there, and there's only 3 spots left. So at least 4 teams have already secured their spot in the AFC side of the ball. So there's only 3 spots left. Who's going to get those wild card spots? And the divisional thing for the AFC North. But besides that, it's as close, It's close. So we'll have to see how that goes moving forward. But Cowboys, I want to touch on them as well. Dak Prescott injured, of course. They've had a lot of injuries and stuff like that around the ball. They played well this week to beat the Panthers. I have a friend, Evan. He wanted them to lose, he said. So, I mean, of course you want to see your team win, but any loss can help your draft stock. So, I don't know. I know they didn't want to get like a Ashton Jeanty, and that's kind of a serious situation there. By the way, who do you think should have won the Heisman? Let me know in the comment section. If you watched to this point, let me know in the comment section. Who do you think should have won the Heisman? I'll tell you, I think that it was fine either way. I think both are deserving. I was not going to be upset whether Jeanty or Sanders got it. But let me know if you've watched to this point. Who do you think should have won the Heisman? And that'll let me know that you've watched this point. So if you're a part of that, then that will appreciate it. It will make me feel good. So thank you. But yeah, I feel like they've got a good team around them. They just got to get players back, and they'll be fine. But the question mark for them, what will they do with Micah Parsons in the future? Playoff dreamers. I have the Colts here as the lone team here. They are absolute dreaming for a potential spot at the playoffs. You could actually put the Cowboys here. I just don't think that they have as much of a chance. The Colts are doing the best that they can to get there, but I don't think it's going to happen. They're 2 games back on the Chargers. They need to run the table. They're absolutely dreaming. It's not a big chance, but they're dreaming to see if they can get it done, and that's why I have the Colts kind of in their own little tier there. They're like the last of the ability to get there. Next up, we got the playoff hopefuls. These are teams that are right there, if not in the playoffs, on the bubble. We got going from bottom to top, the Falcons, the Cardinals, the Dolphins, and the Seahawks. Falcons, even though they won last night against the Raiders, it's a pretty upsetting win for the fan base. Nobody in the Falcons fan base really feels good about it. I mean, a win is a win, regardless, for sure. But you don't want to be that kind of close against a team that is struggling. I mean, look how far down we have the Raiders there, especially on this power list. And the fact that they struggled, it's pretty tough. And that's kind of my little situation there. And that's kind of how I feel about that. Then the Cardinals trying to run the table, trying to do it. They are not far back. They can even win their division. They're only a game back for the division. So they're hoping they can get something going, and a couple losses or something like that go their way. We'll see what they can do, though. They're going to be taking on Carolina next, which rough for me. The Dolphins have been running the table. They've got the players. They have finally been able to do something here. Recently, they have been on a solid run, in my opinion. They were down quite a bit. A lot of injuries, getting Tua back. Very good for them and beneficial. Can they rally? That'll be the question. They're definitely hoping for it. And then we got the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks are a very interesting team to see how they're going to be doing for the future. They absolutely pretty much destroyed the other night against the Packers. That kind of hurt their potential in this, in my opinion. I mean, they're still alive for their division. I mean, they are sitting right there. They're tied with the exact same record as the Rams. Rams getting the tiebreaker there. So they're definitely hopeful. That is going to be an interesting fight to see how that one shakes out with the NFC West, all those different teams. I think the Rams will get it, but that's why they're going to be higher. And speaking of, no, I've actually got them higher. The playoff uncertains. These are teams that I think that are there, but how will they do in the playoffs when we get there? From the bottom to the top there, we got the Texans, the Chargers, the Broncos, and the Commanders. The Texans, I have seen them win games that are great, and I've seen them lose games that they shouldn't have. I've seen them blow leads. I've seen them do crazy stuff this year. I don't know what is going on with the Texans. I don't know how I feel about them. A lot of people are upset with the play of C.J. Stroud. A lot of people are saying that he's not that great of a quarterback. I don't know. A lot of Texans fans are not happy with him. I don't know what the future holds with the Texans. I think that it's going to be fine with C.J. Stroud, but they've got a lot of solid weapons. They desperately wanted to get back Nico Collins. I know Stephon Diggs was a big miss as well, but it's pretty tough for the Texans overall. I don't know how I feel in regards to the future with them, but I don't know how they'll do in the playoffs, but we'll see. The Chargers, the defense is great. The run game, been pretty good. Unfortunate for them, they lost J.K. Dobbins, so that's been an upsetting thing for them as well. So we'll see how the Chargers can carry on with that in the future. Denver Broncos. The Broncos, very interesting to see. Bo Nix has been so good. In fact, these top two teams here, Washington and Denver, I think that their quarterbacks are pretty much competing to see who is going to be that rookie of the year, the offensive rookie of the year. Bo Nix, Jaden Daniels, absolutely masterclass. I think that they have both played better than Caleb Williams this year. And I know that that is so wild for people to think like that, but it really feels like that they've been really just a better team all around. They both of these teams have played well. The defense for the Broncos is great. The Washington Commanders getting in the defensive coordinator, now head coach for them, Dan Quinn, who's been around. He knows defense. He's a great player, a great coach. I mean, he's really got that team working well for them. And these uncertains, like, I think these teams make the playoffs, but how they do, I feel like these are teams that, like, I'm excited to see. A lot of young teams, as you can see there. These are all young teams with, like, new head coaches in their first year or just their second year with quarterbacks and stuff like that, minus Justin Herbert, who, of course, has been around, but he hasn't really had, like, this questions around him. He doesn't necessarily have the weapons and stuff either. But I really like these teams. They're going to be uncertain. These are the teams that I could see, like, winning a Super Bowl. These four right here in particular could win a Super Bowl within the next few years. And so I'm really excited to see how they do. But these are teams that are on the brink of, like, can they get it that upset? Can they do something? Can they do like what the Packers did last year, getting a big win upset, almost making it to the NFC Championship? There's a lot of questions to see what goes on there. On the next tier, I got my playoff dark horses. These are the teams that you don't want to play no matter what. They can beat anybody and everybody, no matter if it's at home or away. Rams, they just beat the Bills, and I know that that one was in Los Angeles. I know that the crowd is not necessarily the most Los Angeles Buffalo Bills fans. They travel wide and far, so they'll go wherever. The Packers, if you have to face the Packers, especially, which is not really going to happen, but I was going to say in Lambeau, it's pretty tough to do. But the Packers, I mean, look what they did to the Cowboys last year, going in there, getting a road win in a dominant fashion. The team is good. The team is young. The future with them is interesting too. The Buccaneers are like a quiet good this year. Nobody's talking about the NFC South because, of course, it's been like the worst division in the NFC for the longest time. A lot of rebuilding, a lot of meh. But the Buccaneers are really good on offense, and the defense is not bad either. And, I mean, you've got a future wide receiver, probably top 5 all-time wide receivers, if not better than that, Mike Evans. I don't think there's many great wide receivers ahead of him. I'll just be honest with you. Like, looking at that list, maybe I'll do a different video with that. There's not many guys that I have in front of Mike Evans. Mike Evans deserves his flowers, and this is a man that's had to see this man and pull against this man his whole career. Okay, I'm a Panthers fan. I pulled against Mike Evans his whole career. That man is a bad man, and the future for him, interesting. But how long is he going to play? Unfortunate for them that they lost Godwin, but they've had some guys step up. K. Dotton's been interesting for them, too, for the tight end position. But, yeah. Then the Ravens. Ravens came close to beating the Chiefs on the road earlier this year in the first game of the season. The Ravens, I feel like they can beat anybody and everybody. It's just, can they do it? You know, can they get it done in the playoffs? These are the dark horses teams. These are the teams you don't want to face in the playoffs. They're going to play tough no matter who it is, and that's how I feel about those. These are for sure going to be in the playoffs, in my opinion. That's why I got them there. And I'll just go ahead and move this up here because this pretty much has my prediction. This is the big change, ladies and gentlemen. This is the big change. I had discussed here The Super Bowl contenders. I've got in from bottom to top. I've got the Chiefs, the Steelers, the Vikings, then I have the Lions, and then up top there, I've got the Eagles and the Bills. That is my new Super Bowl prediction. I have been very big all year on the Lions being in that Super Bowl, but times have changed, ladies and gentlemen. There are too many injuries on the Lions. Let's talk about the Super Bowl contenders. The Chiefs. I have said this. They can make it to the Super Bowl. They are probably going to be the 1 seed because they haven't lost that much. I don't see this team making the Super Bowl. I see the furthest this team makes the conference championship. You can write it down. You can come back in the comments later. I do not see the Chiefs making it to the Super Bowl. I don't see them making it further than the AFC Championship at all, which is far, and that is pretty good. But the standard now for the Chiefs is to win the Super Bowl. I don't think that they do it. I think there are too many teams. In fact, I've got those 2 teams in front of them there that I think can beat them. And I honestly think that the Ravens could beat them as well. I think the Bills, the Steelers, the Ravens, I even could see potentially the Broncos or the Chargers beating them. I don't think that the Texans would beat the Chiefs. But I feel like there's a solid group there. Any given Sunday for sure, but that's a solid group of 5 in that playoff of the AFC that I think can beat the Chiefs 100%. I know the Chargers didn't do it, but I really think that it could happen. And, the Broncos almost did it. They were a field goal away. But, yeah, I'm telling you all, I really think that is something that they got to be careful about. But talking about the Steelers, it's an interesting team. I don't know they're going to do as well as their quarterback and offense will do. Russell Wilson's great. Is he going to be able to, dip into that youth and continue to play well? It's a lot of this and that. I'm not sure how the future goes there. It's very, I don't know. It worries me. It absolutely worries me. I don't know what's going to happen with them. The defense is great. They need to rely on Najee Harris to keep doing what he does, but that's just kind of how it is. But what the future holds, I guess we'll see. The Vikings, right there as well. They looked good last night. Dominant fashion win over their division rival. That's tough to do. I mean, they looked better against the Bears than the Lions did. I mean, let's just be honest here. They looked a lot better. They did. They did what they needed to do, so that was huge for them. And the Lions, like I've said, too many injuries. Way too many injuries right now. Too many players out. They lost the other day to the Bills. I do think that the Lions still could rally, but they don't have a defense. That defense is not going to be able to do anything. It is so tough. It is so tough. Looking at the Super Bowl prediction, we got the Philadelphia Eagles and the Buffalo Bills. This is the Super Bowl that I'm predicting here, and I think it's going to be a tough one for both teams. My prediction is the Buffalo Bills are the Super Bowl champions. That is where we're feeling right now, and they are the 1 seed that I have in this playoff thing. I got the number 2 seed there to the Eagles. I think the Eagles, huge win. The game against the Steelers was a huge win there. Winning by 14, huge. In control of their division, probably right there trying to get that first-round bye. It's going to be interesting. But Eagles, that's a team that you can't count out. The defense is good. That offense has a lot of great weapons. Jalen Hurts, a lot of people have said a lot of bad things about him. I really didn't agree with those. I feel like there's a lot of stuff that, like, when people were talking about him, it was out of bad faith. I feel like he's not had the greatest time. There may have been some slip-ups, but every team goes through that. But I really just think that a lot of people were blowing smoke, especially in the media. But honestly, I really feel bad about, I don't know. I don't like the Lions up there anymore. I know this feels bad. I've been big on the Lions all year, but just all the injuries accumulated over time. It's just kind of tough. So here, I'll number them from top to bottom here just so that there's clarity. Number 1, Buffalo Bills. Number 2, Philadelphia Eagles. Number 3, Detroit Lions. Number 4, Minnesota Vikings. Number 5, Pittsburgh Steelers. Number 6, Kansas City Chiefs. Number 7, Baltimore Ravens. Number 8, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Number 9, Green Bay Packers. Number 10, Los Angeles Rams. Number 11, Washington Commanders. Number 12, Denver Broncos. Number 13, the Los Angeles Chargers. 14 is the Houston Texans. 15 is the Seattle Seahawks. 16 Miami Dolphins. 17 Arizona Cardinals. 18 Atlanta Falcons. 19 Indianapolis Colts. 20 the Dallas Cowboys. 21 Cincinnati Bengals. 22 New Orleans Saints. 23 San Francisco 49ers. 24 Carolina Panthers. 25 New England Patriots. 26 Chicago Bears. 27 Jacksonville Jaguars. 28 New York Jets. 29 Cleveland Browns. 30 Las Vegas Raiders. 31 Tennessee Titans. 32 New York Giants. So there's my clarity. By the way, sorry, flip the Jags and the Jets. I forgot about that matchup. I missed that one. So yeah, flip those two, and that's kind of my power rankings for this week. These will change. I just wanted to go off of a basis here for Super Bowl prediction. This will fluctuate based on how teams do. I haven't done any selections like this year, so I wanted to do this for y'all. A lot of people have asked me to do this, so I just wanted to do this breakdown. This is kind of my reaction to the last week as well as the future. Now, I'll fluctuate this. There might be more tiers in the future of how I feel about each and every team, but this is just kind of a basis for me to start. I wanted to kind of feel like how I feel they're doing right now for the future as well. So this is my power rankings now. This will fluctuate, ladies and gentlemen, based off of how teams do each and every week. I just wanted y'all to know I haven't made a power rankings this year, but this is something everybody's won. So I wanted to start from here, and then we'll go from there. So thanks, everybody. I appreciate that. We just got membership opportunities here on YouTube. I've been posting a lot of extra content there. I'm going to post my actual tier list picture here on there as well. So there, if you've seen that first, I'm going to talk about it on this video, which you're maybe listening to right now. But people on my members page got to see this first. So definitely go check that out, ladies and gentlemen. It is the membership. Join the membership. It supports me. It helps out the channel. And you're going to get to see extra stuff as well. So, and maybe some fantasy advice, all these different things. But I appreciate everybody for being here. It means a lot. Make sure that you're subscribed. Leave a thumbs up. Greatly appreciate that. I'll talk to you guys later.